Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be playing around with the Lushus printables from Denise Lush. They are linked in my description box below, so please go check them out. So this is an entire page from Denise, one of her printables, with the beautiful inky background, and then it's got the border on it already. Now, because I had this page in my journal, so it's on a black page, and it's just a little bit smaller than the page that I had, I added a little bit of washi down on the bottom just to sort of balance it up. So for this, you can actually see the entire sheets that I'm using. Usually I'll cut some bits apart beforehand, but in this one I sort of wanted to show you the actual sheets as they come. So I've printed them out twice. Now, when I print them out, you'll notice mine are on sticker paper. I find that really handy, having everything printed on sticker paper. It means as soon as I cut it out, I can just stick it down. I don't need to worry about gluing and all that sort of stuff. So I find it really helpful doing that. My printer is a laser printer. Unfortunately, it's not brilliant at the moment. It's sort of doing double prints of things, so my blacks aren't necessarily as black as they should be, but if you've got a good printer, you get some amazing effects. So you can see this is where I have fun with magazine images, or magazine collage, because I can just sit here and just play and make all these little dolls, make them as crazy as I want. So I've got my Brussels sprout skirt, I've got you know, a little pointy hat. You can see, even though I put the washi tape in the background, I've actually just covered over it with some of these little hilly bits. So my person is standing on a hill, and this is how easy using sticker paper is, because I can just sort of peel it off, stick it off. Because it's got the sticky on it, I can actually stick things down like that and make sure everything sticks together really nicely, and it's so easy. And the other thing is, because I can sort of take it back up again before I've glued it down, makes it really easy. Because any printed material, the black is never going to be like a true black. I find I go around everything with a black paint pen, so you can see the huge difference just having that little bit of black paint pen on it can make to the background. It also ties it to the black border I've got around the page as well, to anchor it a little bit. So I decided with my little funky figure that I wanted to have some arms on her too. So I've added those on. Now, the thing to remember when you're doing sort of magazine collage like this is start from the back or the bottom and work your way up. So obviously the legs go under the skirt, which goes under the top, which goes under the neck, which, you know, so everything sort of layers up on top of each other. Depending where you're going to put your arms, you may want to put them down first or not. And, you know, use your imagination. In fact, her neck is a stack of macarons. I just love the fact she's got a Brussels sprout skirt. I am a big Brussels sprout fan. I think we've had this conversation before. The Brussels sprouts are one of my favourite things out of these packs. I've been using them so often. So now I'm going in again with my thinner black pen and doing exactly the same as I did with that border part. And you can see the huge difference it makes, just adding that extra little bit of detail. And the great thing is, you're not having to draw these lines in yourself. They are already there. Now, obviously, you can add extra. You can go nuts and add extra patterns and all sorts. But just the basics of just drawing around the outside, as simply as just going, you know, around it, makes a huge difference to your magazine collage. It really does. It just pushes it from one end to the other. The other thing that you can do is obviously add more detail, which I'm doing now. You know, I didn't have dots around the frames, so it's just plain black frames, but I've made them with turquoise dots on them. So you can just add to your heart's content. You know, I wanted her to have blue and pink hair, so now she's got blue and pink hair. Wish I could have blue and pink hair, but I haven't quite worked out how to do that yet. So again, from Brussels sprouts, there's lots of dots in this page, so I've added in some turquoise dots onto her as well. And this is my sort of happy place. You know, I've got all my pens in front of me. I can just go nuts and just add as much or as little detail as I want. The thing I find when I do magazine collage, and I know I've talked about this before, is I tend to have a few go-to colours. which happen to be turquoise pink, sometimes yellow, obviously black and white. They're the pens I tend to have sitting on my desk most anyway, so they're usually the ones I first grab when I do it. But I think because they're near primary colours, it works really, really well. So it just, for me anyway, with most things that I do, they go. So I find it really, really handy. So you'll see around the border now I'm going in and adding some extra detail, adding some extra colour, just as it takes my fancy, until I'm happy. Then I came across this quote which just sums up my life completely. I made a huge to-do list today. I just can't figure out who is going to do it. I wish I had someone who could do all my to-do lists, because they keep getting longer and longer and longer, and I keep getting more and more behind. It's driving me nuts at the moment. I was so glad, particularly last year, I got so ahead with my videos, but I'm getting to the end of my big backlog of videos, so I've got a huge list of videos that I need to make and voice over. I've got lots of things going on at the moment, so busy, and it would be helpful to have about 5 other hands helping me out, especially since work is very busy at the moment as well. So juggling a few things at once has been interesting, as everyone does, but having someone to help you with the to-do list would be great, especially if she was as stylish as this lady on this page. So quite often with magazine collages like this, I like making these sort of funny or snarky or silly quotes on them. I think they just work with them. These figures have such personality. They can sort of stand up to those snarkier comments, sometimes in the pretty images that I use for some other things. So it's interesting what quotes go with what images in your journal. So I wonder if you've got a bit of a pattern to what happens with what. So I've just written out my quote with my white pen. Now I've gone in and extended it, so just so it makes it look like it fits in my page. And just to finish it off, I am going to go around and do a drop shadow. And for a change today, usually I do black, but I decided to use a turquoise today, and I'm really glad I did, because the turquoise against the orange in the background is a beautiful contrast. So with your drop shadows, when you do them, it doesn't matter what colour you do it is, as long as it's contrasting with the background, because what you want that drop shadow to do is to push your letters out from the background, so they're really clear to read. And you can see that the turquoise, certainly from this distance, doesn't necessarily stand out too much. It sort of blends in quite nicely. But when you look at the close-up at the end, you'll see how that turquoise works really, really well. So with the drop shadow, I'm just going on the bottom left-hand side of each of my letters to help pop it out from the background. And it doesn't really matter where you put it, as long as you're consistent the whole way. You will notice immediately if you are doing all the letters one way and then suddenly you do it in another way. So you can see how that turquoise works really, really nicely with the blue, how all those images and just adding that little bit of extra pen work on top of them really helps. So lots and lots of fun. Please check out the description box below to get a link to Denise's fab collage pieces. And good news is she's just released a new bunch, and I think she's considering some more in the future as well. So you've got lots more images to play with. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.